The MEREDA Index is a measure of real estate activity designed to track changes in Maine's real estate markets. The index is a composite of 9 seasonally adjusted measures reflecting both new development and transactions involving existing properties, and it covers both the commercial and residential markets statewide. This edition of the MEREDA Index comes in at 100.4, its highest ever. This edition of the MEREDA Index is supported by SMRT Architects Engineers and Express Copy. This video was filmed on location at 25 High Street, J.B. Brown's newest condo project in downtown Portland, marketed by Marsden Real Estate.
My name is Paul Peck. I'm a real estate developer with LWS Development. I'm an attorney with Drummond & Drummond. I'm also MEREDA board president. The MEREDA Index is at its highest level ever. That's pretty exciting. It's great for our industry. It's great for our citizens of our state. It's great for our towns and cities to have increased revenue generated by new development. It's great for our workers, and it's great for MEREDA. It's an exciting time to be in the real estate development industry. Everybody's really busy, so it's a very exciting time to be in the market right now. Non-Portland markets are seeing growth right now. There's a housing shortage all over the state, not just in Portland. I think what's driving the market now, as it's been really for the last 5 or 6 years, the medical industry is strong. I think the healthcare industry is strong, and the senior living industry is strong. You know, we're the oldest state in the nation, and there'll be continuing needs for senior housing, safe, affordable senior housing, and upscale senior housing. The office market is starting to really bubble up. New office buildings are being built in Bangor and in Portland and other parts of the state, and that's exciting to see some office buildings going up. I think there's a lot of opportunity in the residential sector still. If somebody can find the model to build a relatively smaller home but more affordable, I think there's a huge gap in what's available right now in the $250,000 to $350,000 market. And I think there's opportunity there. I do think there's opportunity in off-site construction. The construction trades are one of the last industries that have embraced efficiencies through modernization and technology. We need to do that. It's happening out west. Google has invested in those type of things. These high-tech companies are investing in modular construction using technology and robots. We need that, especially with our labor shortage. I am still bullish on the market. I don't know where the top is. We're certainly not at the beginning. We're probably not at the middle. So we're somewhere between the middle and the end. We've had slow and steady growth over the last 5 years. We haven't seen any huge rocket ship growth. And we've had steady interest rates. Yes, interest rates are up, but they're still historically low. So I do see some growth. I think with the tax cuts and the spending increases at the federal level, there's no reason to believe that the real estate sector will not continue to be strong for the next couple of years.
The commercial component hit 107.13, which is up by 3.1% in the past 2 quarters and 2.2% over the past year.
My name's Katie Millett, and I work with NAI, the Dunham Group, and I'm a commercial broker there, and I've worked there for about 13 years. I think obviously everybody knows downtown Portland is sort of on fire, and we have so many exciting projects, you know, from the Wex building to the Widgery Wharf project to the Fisherman's Wharf hotel and retail. So I think obviously the peninsula is still just absolutely the hot spot. I think you see little sectors kind of popping up. Obviously, Bayside is continuing to emerge as, you know, an up-and-coming, or it's already there, I guess, neighborhood. And then I think you're going to see Outer Forest Ave make a lot of changes. You know, we're seeing more coffee shops and more retailers and fitness facilities. So I think with all of that, it'll sort of grow out to Outer Forest Ave, Brighton Ave. It sort of has to, because there's not a lot of room left on the peninsula, and a lot of people can't afford the prices anymore on the peninsula for commercial. So I think we're at overall an increase of about 2% in the index, and as opposed to last year, which was much more extreme. So we're still seeing a solid level of growth. In the commercial sector, I think we'll continue to see new construction, and particularly in the industrial market, the vacancy rate is so low that I think we'll have to see some new construction for industrial. I think it's below 2% right now. So in order to ink out a deal right now is not necessarily as easy as people might think. The type of deal that we're seeing a lot of right now is mostly the result of 1031 exchanges. So we are still seeing a lot of that in the market right now. But again, those 1031 buyers are having a hard time finding replacement properties because the inventory is so small. The inventory of quality investment grade properties is so low. So when something does come on the market, we see a little bit of a feeding frenzy, and we'll likely get into a multiple offer situation in those circumstances.
The residential component comes in at 95.04. The seasonally adjusted median house price rose 9.5% over the past year.
My name is David Myerson. I'm a local residential broker with the Bean Group here in Portland. So residential market in Greater Portland is robust, it's active. Statewide, our median price, the MEREDA Index indicates, the last 2 quarters were up like 6.9%. For the year, we're up about 10%. The lack of inventory is driving price. It's a simple sort of economic issue where low supply, steady demand, price increases. That being said, in Greater Portland right now, median price is hovering right around $300,000. This is a historic high. We're above the threshold where we were in the peak of '05. Pretty interesting, and the volume of transactions is down. So less number of transactions, demand steady, increased price. Condo market downtown is very strong, just like what's happening here at 25 High Street. It's interesting, there's 2 sides of the downtown condo market. There's the classic empty nesters. There's a lot of local people retiring, selling the house in the suburbs, moving in town. And there's a lot of young professionals moving from other markets coming into downtown Portland. So there's 2 sides of the market feeding downtown. Buyers that are moving to Portland 10 years ago would have had to find a job. Today, they don't need to find a job, they're bringing their job with us. We can work from anywhere. We're also seeing that upward pressure begin to see more new construction, but building materials are expensive, there's a shortage of labor, so prices of new construction homes are still high, they're well above the median price in general. So I don't see that as a short-term solution. There's not enough new supply coming online for homes in order to balance the low inventory. I'm predicting a cooling of the market, but I'm a watch and see basis. But median price is at a historical high, demand is strong, inventory is low. This isn't a sustainable event long term. Markets cycle through. I've lived through a couple of them here in Portland, and frankly, I think we're due in the next couple years. That being said, there's enough momentum in the market. I don't think there's a short-term correction coming. I'd say we're looking a couple years out. My prediction may be off. We may continue to rise at a strong rate.
The construction component comes in at 88.2. The rise in residential permits suggests additional supply in the residential market will be coming in the months ahead, but the additional supply is not showing up in construction, as construction employment has declined over both the past 2 quarters and the past year. These declines are the first that have appeared in several years.
I am Jeff Zackow, president of Zackow Construction. For us, we're seeing the market as being quite hot. In particular, professional office projects we've been very busy with, as well as multifamily housing, both market rate housing and low-income tax credit housing. I think the market has seen, in the Portland area, a lot of larger projects, multifamily housing projects. A few years ago, we were building a lot of 25 to 30 unit projects. Now most of the projects are 50, 60, 70 and even more units. The office projects that we've been looking at, again, are on the larger side. We finished the Tyler Technologies project last year. It was 100,000 square feet. I know also in Portland, Tilson, the WEX project's going on now. They just announced the start of the IDEX project, so some really good larger projects. We feel very fortunate. The market has stayed as strong as it has the last few years. We're cautiously optimistic that the future looks bright. We have a number of projects in the pipeline that will be going 2-3 years out, so we're very excited about that. At the same time, we still remain cautious to see what the overall economy does. I think everybody's nervous that interest rates are going to start to creep up, and I think that could impact, the start of some projects. All developers are trying to get creative with their financing, whether they're using tax credits or different sources of borrowing. We feel that there's great advantages for developers to engage with a construction manager as early as possible. Some of our more successful projects, we were engaged to help bring in the design team, work with site selection, designing the project and the budget early on. And in the end, having an active team, working together from the beginning helps bring a successful project to a reality. For us, the next 12 months look very good. We're currently getting a lot of projects started. We just preloaded the Children's Museum site and need that to set, and we'll be starting construction this fall. We're very excited with that out on Thompson's Point. And we have a number of other larger projects that we have in pre-construction that we see starting later this year. So, we see 2018 finishing strong, 2019 being a very good year.
This video was filmed on location at 25 High Street, J.B. Brown's newest condo project in downtown Portland, marketed by Marsden Real Estate. Thank you to our supporters, SMRT Architects, Engineers, and Express Copy.
Thank you to all the MEREDA members for being such strong supporters of the Maine economy and working so hard to bring about this record level of the MEREDA Index.